It was late evening in a quiet European town. The wind was cold, carrying the smell of rain, and the narrow streets echoed with silence. Street lamps glowed dimly, casting long shadows on the stone pavements. In this lonely corner of the city, a thin Russian blue cat moved slowly, her silver blue fur shining faintly in the light. She was hungry, very hungry. Her stomach growled as she sniffed near trash bins, hoping to find even a single piece of leftover food. This cat's name was Mira. Once she had a home, warm cushions, and a human who loved her. But life had turned cruel. Her owner left the city, and Mira was abandoned on these streets. Days turned into weeks, and she learned to survive by stealing scraps. But hunger never left her side. As Mira wandered that night, another shadow appeared from the far end of the street. Heavy footsteps echoed. It was a Great Dane, tall, muscular, but thin from hunger. His name was Argo. His ribs showed beneath his dark coat, and his eyes were tired, but still gentle. Unlike other dogs, he did not bark or scare the cat. He simply walked slowly, as if the world's weight pressed upon his shoulders. Mira froze, her fur standing up. She hissed softly, ready to run. But Argo stopped at a distance, lowering his head respectfully, as if telling her, "I am no threat." For a moment, they stared at each other, a fragile cat and a giant dog, both broken by hunger, both searching for hope. Slowly, Mira relaxed. She stepped closer, cautious, her eyes never leaving his. Argo sat down quietly, his breath visible in the cold night air. That night, they shared silence. No food, no comfort, only the presence of another soul who understood. The next morning, Mira woke to find Argo still nearby, guarding her as she slept. Surprised, she tilted her head and purred softly. For the first time in weeks, she didn't feel completely alone. Together, they began roaming the streets. They searched near bakeries, where Myra's small size helped her sneak into tiny spaces to grab crumbs, while Argo waited outside patiently. Sometimes Mira brought out pieces of bread, and they shared. But life on the streets was never kind. One night, Mira tried to steal from a butcher's stall. The butcher caught her and threw a stone, hurting her paw. She cried out. Argo rushed forward, barking loudly and scaring the man away. He then licked Myra's wound gently, staying by her side until she could walk again. From that night, their bond grew stronger. Argo became Myra's protector, and Mira became Argo's reason to keep moving. Winter grew colder. Snow began to fall. Mira shivered, her small body struggling to stay warm. Argo, despite his size, also felt weak, his energy fading. They took shelter under an old wooden crate near a closed shop. Mira curled into Argo's chest, and his warmth kept her alive. In return, her soft purring comforted him through the long, freezing nights. There were days when they found nothing to eat. Mira would cry softly, pressing her head against Argo's leg. Argo, though starving, always let Mira eat first whenever they found something. His loyalty was bigger than his hunger. One stormy evening, Mira got stuck in a narrow fence while chasing the smell of food. She meowed desperately, struggling to escape. Argo panicked but didn't give up. With his powerful jaws, he pulled at the wooden planks until the fence broke. Mira ran into his paws, trembling. She looked into his eyes and realized he would never leave her.